To you then, and then we'll wrap. We tend to compare India and China, perhaps at least when it comes to the large trends. And the trend in China, Hormoz, is that 30% of the total cars which are sold in China are electric. In India, the number is not even 5. In India, can that number move from 5 to 10 or 10 to 5 to 15 in 5, 7, 10 years?
Yeah, I think, looking at just the two-wheeler, the passenger car vehicle is about 2.3%. So it's not even 5 if you take just cars. I personally feel, at least, speaking on the four-wheelers, which I'm more focused on, I don't see it being more than 10% by 2030. So, I think talk of it being 2030, I think that's too far. It's too much of a long shot. I think at best we'll get into double digits by the end of the decade. A lot of challenges on EV still. Charging infrastructure is not going to be sorted out overnight. I mean, something like CNG after 25, 30 years, even that's not sorted. So to expect, charging infra on EVs to be sorted and be as prevalent as, let's say, if you're refueling an ICE vehicle, I don't think that's going to happen. So going to be a lot of bottlenecks. And I think one big ticking time bomb for EVs is the resale value, which I think is going to drop at some point when these cars come into the pre-owned market. Right now, everyone's hanging on to the EVs. They're still very new, not even 5 years old. This is a new game. So I think the resale value is going to be a big issue, and that is especially for what we call the early majority, the early adopters. They are the ones who have bought into the let's say EV story. But the second lot, they're a lot more skeptical. They're worried about battery life, resale value, all that sort of thing before making an investment in EV. And I think resale value is going to be one huge challenge going forward.
Okay. Saik, final question. The EV bhakts or the proponents are of the view that what has happened in China will happen in India, which is that ICE will go down, EV will go up, and the number could be in mid-teens by next 5 to 10 years.
See, I think we'll have to go segment-wise as far as EV is concerned. If we look at EV segment today, for example, three-wheeler segment. Three-wheeler, we have already seen the adoption is more than 50%. We personally believe that in two-wheeler segment, the adoption would be at a much faster pace than in passenger vehicle, because passenger vehicle you still have the range anxiety, and the overall development or the infrastructure is still not in place. Whatever infrastructure we've had, it's still defunct. It's most of the EV chargers are not being used, or they're not in running condition, I should say. So it's a challenge, and as you had rightly said, government policies will also make a major impact on this, because see, our country is still in a developing stage. Our consumers are still very price sensitive, and we have seen certain state governments wherein the registration discounts on EVs, when they have withdrawn those discounts, we've seen sales drastically dropping in those states. So it all depends on the government subsidies and overall policies from the government.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.